Well, here we are. Kaycee, welcome back to the show.
Hey, it's good to be back.
Yes, there is a very big purpose why we're here today because you've got an exciting new announcement, a new project that you've been working on. And it's funny because you've written a few books. This is actually your third project, and you're helping me write my book with lots of
Yes.
tips and the graphics. So, more to come on that, listeners. So, just stay
Yeah.
tuned. Excited to unveil that really, really soon. And so, Diabetic Meals Made Easy.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
about.
It's the new cookbook. It's real. It's a thing. It's been in the works for a long time and it's out and available now, and I couldn't be happier to get this resource into the hands of the people that can benefit from it. If there's anything I can do to make this a little bit easier to live with and remove a portion of the stress that it creates in our lives, I'm all about it.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and food choices and understanding food. I've worked with ladies that have literally had diabetes since childhood. And when I meet them, they're like, well, I was never taught. I don't understand food. And then you think, well, over time, don't you think, wouldn't the average person just kind of learn and experience? And it depends on the person, doesn't it, as far as just how connected they are to food or just wanting to take the time to learn. So what makes this different, this book different than all the others that can be on the market, for somebody to show, whether it's to help people with blood sugar or just healthy eating in general. So what's different about your masterpiece?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to start by saying this is not a low carb cookbook, right? Like so many diabetic cookbooks are low carb cookbooks, and there's nothing wrong with eating fish and vegetables, right? There's tons of health and nutrition in those things.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not what this is. This is a balanced, nutritional, science-based approach to how we can include a variety of foods in our diet and intentionally help balance our blood sugar. And so it's not a low carb deal. It's lean meats and whole grains and healthy fats and fruits and veggies and the whole gamut.
Right.
I will say too, I've heard a lot of good feedback that the full color photos are super helpful. I've heard so many people say, I have a cookbook that it doesn't have a picture, I won't make the recipe.
It's so
So,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there is a full color photo with every recipe. It's all kid approved, family friendly, easily accessible ingredients, nothing from specialty stores. It's all real stuff. There's nutrition facts for every recipe.
Oh,
And
that's huge. Yeah.
yes, yes. But the big thing that I think is the concept that I teach in the beginning of the book about nutrition and how we can help balance our blood sugar through nutrition can be applied to any snack or meal you eat.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take what you learn and use it on what you've got and not just the recipes that are in this book. And so it's easily transferable.
Yeah. And that kind of points to whether or not we are recipe followers. Because over the years I've developed recipes, and I have some as well on my website that number one, just like what you say, the images are magical because I'm the same way. I want to kind of have a look at what it is that I'm preparing. It is funny because we do eat with our eyes sometimes, don't we?
We do. We absolutely do.
Right.
It's true.
Especially if you don't really understand really what you're putting. And I think this is what it sounds like. It's a book that's going to apply to somebody that needs more confidence in what they're putting together. And that there is no rules around it, right? So these are obviously going to be delicious if the whole family likes it, right?
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah. It was just something that I put together because, you know, after 33 years of living with this, I understand this now. I've got training in nutrition. And, so many people who have diabetes either deal with a blood sugar spike after every meal and they don't understand it, they're frustrated by it, reasonably so, or they avoid foods that they think are not diabetic friendly. And it's like, food is food. And if you pair it up right, it will work for you, right?
Yes. 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 It's an experiment. Well, gosh, that's what living with diabetes is, right? We're just
Every
one
day.
walking experiment. And I think, and the food is a good example. I've had some ladies in my group coaching. We were just talking about this in a session yesterday about the avoidance. We do tend to avoid things that don't feel good or we've had a bad response to in the past. And food is attached to that. It's, pizza's an example of something that we either decide to tackle it and eating it, but you still got to have it's important to understand how it operates in your body, how your blood sugar responds, the time of day, all the things. And then go in with it with good intentions and correct the rest, right? We've talked about that too. Yeah, just to have some, because life's too short to not enjoy food and to appreciate what we get to eat. So
yes, absolutely.
So if somebody's newly diagnosed, you can maybe explain, who is this book? Let's start there. Who is this book perfect for?
Yeah.
As far as the readers,
Yeah. So here's the thing. Really, like I mentioned, is pairing up some nutritional value together to help balance blood sugar. And so this is great for someone with type 1. I'm living proof of it. This is what I've used for a long, long time. But it's also helpful for someone with type 2 because they need to balance blood sugar as well. Someone with gestational diabetes or pre-diabetes and they're trying to limit that blood sugar spike. Absolutely. But it's also for someone who has a spouse who has diabetes or a child with diabetes, someone who's in the kitchen for those people. So it's a pretty wide variety of diabetes in general.
Right. And the whole adage, and I know you can agree with this, all the years that you and I both live with diabetes, is that and this is what you said, that this is not a carb restriction book, because I think that is the adage that if you live with diabetes, you can't, you can't have sugar, right? Everybody thinks it's a sugar, and then and you and I both know that it's the carbs that convert to sugar, but it's the balance. So maybe if we let's start there too. Let's talk about, because I know we've talked a lot about this on the show. You and I have talked about this on previous episodes, and I've had some registered dietitians, so this is not a new concept for people, but I think it's a good time to kind of revise how important it is. And I didn't even learn how important it was until I was pregnant with my daughter at 28, 29 years old, about how to pair foods. Isn't that crazy?
No, it's not, because I'm in a very similar spot to you.
Yeah.
When I was diagnosed, it was take insulin for the carbs you eat.
Yeah.
That was the deal.
That's right.
And it's not that that's 100% untrue, but that's not a full picture. Yeah.
So what, talking about almost any blood sugar friendly, so we'll stay on the blood sugar friendly idea. So can you explain what that means in practical terms, and maybe give us an example? Maybe a recipe that you can kind of share about how you put these ingredients together to make it, because a lot of us are visual. That might be something too as we're talking through this. So if you're listening to this right now, you will be able to watch this on YouTube as well. So we will add in some of these beautiful pictures of the food and the recipes that Kaycee has in the book, just to give you that visual. So maybe if you pick one, we can kind of unwrap the
I'm making a note right now to send you some book mock-up pictures.
Love it.
Yes. So here's the thing. We talk about, like, on the front, it says it very clearly on the front cover, learn how to make almost any meal blood sugar friendly, right? And so it is about building a meal, okay? So in order to make something blood sugar friendly, you need to include a balance of certain nutrition. Right? We need to be talking about fat and fiber and protein. And the example that I think of in the cookbook, here's one of the things about the cookbook that my husband was like, wait, what? When I told him this.
I love it.
Not every recipe is diabetic friendly on its own, because I wanted to take people through who can still eat this. And here's how you make it diabetic friendly. So an example of that would be, I've got a breakfast recipe in here called raspberry orange baked oats. And it's one that you want to, like, warm up in the morning and just when you're going to be at home, because it just smells wonderful in the house. But obviously baked oats, you've got quite a bit of carbs. You've got a little bit of fiber, but that's pretty low in protein. And so I talk about in the book, there's in every single recipe, there's how to make this a well-rounded meal. And so I talk about, I would eat it just like the picture shows it. Put some sausage with it, put some eggs with it, put some, something like
protein.
It's gonna be protein, right? Where's your protein in your breakfast? Because we need to start our day with protein. And so that would be a good example of How do I make oatmeal diabetic friendly? There's pasta recipes in here, right? How do I make pasta diabetic friendly? It's in here, right? And it's not about I have to have a diabetic pasta recipe
Right.
necessarily,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I
what
like that
you-
switch. Yeah. Yeah. I like that play on words. That really does explain it a
Right.
whole lot better. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, a lot of diabetic meal plans focus on what we can't have, and you just pointed to that. So example, that recipe that you're talking about right now, that raspberry, can you just give us the list of the ingredients? I'm curious as to what you put in there. Although you're saying this is a little lower on the protein side.
Right.
As far as the equation of it, so you definitely need. Is this something that you add to the description of the recipe?
Yes.
As far as giving them tips and say, hey,
Yes.
this might be a little carb,
Yes.
tilting a little carb heavy. It's a good idea to add some
Yes.
protein. Okay.
Yes.
Great direction. I love
So,
that.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the bottom of every single recipe, there's this little circle icon, and it says well-rounded meal. So this one in particular says, I would round out this meal as it's shown in the photo, add more raspberries on top for a boost of fiber. It is a little low in fiber. And serve breakfast sausage or an additional protein. And there you have a well-rounded and delicious breakfast. And so there's a little blurb with every recipe to talk about, is this good on its own? What do we need to add? Take a look at the nutrition, and how do we make sure we have fat, fiber, protein, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the ingredients are old-fashioned rolled oats, which you can obviously use gluten-free. Mm-hmm. That's another thing, if I can just throw this in here.
Oh, sure.
There are icons with every single recipe in case you need something dairy-free or low-carb, no sugar added, gluten-free, all those. So you can easily tell if something can be gluten-free or whatever.
Okay. Good.
So rolled oats, orange zest, baking powder, cinnamon, a pinch of salt, fresh raspberries, 2 large eggs, some vegetable oil. There's a 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. I am a huge fan of natural sweeteners. And
natural meaning the real
meaning
stuff.
they're real, right? Not like a chemical sweetener. There is a 1/4 cup of orange juice and some milk and vanilla.
Okay. Yep.
So that's that one. But they all are like that. They're all these whole ingredients, natural sweeteners, and they all list how can we make this diabetic friendly if it's not ready.
Right. And in a sense, you're finding a way to modify that depending on what you need that day. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming you've got nutritional information. Portion size is huge too, because that's something. And again, it's one of those things we don't want to, we don't want to judge ourselves as far as how much we're eating. But I think that might be another tool too. It sounds like it's what you're using in the book, is giving them a guide as to, because that's when it can get a little messy when we're eating, not understanding what we're eating and how much, and then trying to tell our pump how many carbs it is. The calculation can be, it's a guessing game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, this particular one is baked in an 8x8 pan. And so I just say 1/8 of it.
Okay.
Cut an eighth.
So
right?
1/8 is one portion size, and then
But it all has portion size and everything.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. Okay, all the things I would love to have in a cookbook as well. Yeah, it's really important. Yeah. So how did you balance the nutrition science? Because I know you've spent a lot of time and you wanted this to be authentic and true, which is the way you're wired anyway, Kaycee. I know that. Yeah. So how did you balance the nutrition science with the comfort food element?
Yeah, that's huge. I think when I think of comfort foods, a lot of what I think of is carbs.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think that too, right?
Yeah.
Like warm, cozy, So here's the thing. Like I said before, there are pasta recipes in here. I've got a cheesy orzo recipe. There's a chili that actually is diabetic friendly on its own. That's hugely nutritional it's wonderful for you. We have to be able to eat and enjoy the foods we're eating, right? And so it's just a matter, like I said before, it's a matter of knowing what you're eating and building a meal around it. Mm-hmm. And so there are absolutely comfort food recipes in here. And yes, it's a matter of just balancing what we're eating. So yes, I walk through that with every recipe. The orzo, obviously, you need protein when you eat orzo, and there are some vegetables in the orzo that help with some fiber and things like that. So it's a matter of make it what you want to make it. So add what you need to add to make it blood sugar friendly.
Okay. And at the very beginning, I don't think I asked you. It's breakfast, lunch, dinner,
And
dessert, snacks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
A big variety.
Okay. Do you point to any drinks or any ways, drinks, coffees, smoothies, anything like that?
There's a smoothie.
Okay.
There is a smoothie, a raspberry smoothie, that if I make it, I need to make two because my daughter will take the first one. But, yes, but that's the only beverage. Maybe that's a good idea for a blog post. Or
Yeah. I was just thinking about it. Yeah. Because I mean, smoothies are. I'm assuming they're still being talked about and kind of leaned on. Haven't really. Yeah, it hasn't been a hot topic really with my clients lately. Some like them, some like. But smoothies and drinks, as we know, they enter the system a lot quicker because they're liquid and they get into the bloodstream and they affect the blood sugar quickly. So I know they can be tricky. They can be tricky. That's when you need to have that fat and protein included in that smoothie for sure.
Yes.
And pair it with a walk, right?
Yeah, right. Yes, if you need to move a little bit.
Yeah. That's always an option. Yeah. Well, your tone throughout the book feels very encouraging, which is your tone in your first book, Devotions on Diabetes. And so, how did that carry over into kind of your feel for this book? Because it's very different. Recipes are recipes. It's kind of a black and white. Here it is. It's a little more scientific because it's number driven with carb counts and stuff like that. So in essence, it's a different type of feel. But how did you bring in that encouraging and personal approach in, of all things, a cookbook?
Right. Exactly. Yes, completely. I wanted to be very encouraging because I think people living with diabetes, they need all the encouragement they can get, right? And we'll take it all, right? So in the beginning of the book, there are several pages in the beginning where I just lay out personal stuff. There's a letter that says, "Welcome to my kitchen," right? And I talk about my experience a little bit, just a couple pages on just the foundations of my beliefs and my approach to ingredients and balanced nutrition. I talk about moderation. I talk about loving ice cream. It's all the things. I wanted it to be super relatable and super real, right? I don't want someone to pick this up and feel like it's super restrictive because it doesn't have to be, right?
Right.
And then I talk about, okay, here's how you make any meal diabetic friendly. I literally walk through it, and it's all just very personal stuff. I wrote it like I'm talking to a friend.
Nice. Love
and
it.
so that's
very
how
personal.
Yeah, and then every recipe has a little blurb at the top that's just talking about the recipe. It's talking about my family. It's talking about
Nice.
Yeah, it's all just very, I'm your friend in the kitchen today.
I love it. And I also have diabetes, if that's the reader's situation, which is such the connection. Yeah. That does make the connection. I think anytime that we are picking up any sort of material and it was, the words, it was infused with somebody who gets it. So I think that's very, very distinct. And there's definitely a lot of other books out there, cookbooks, but nobody gets it like you as far as, and these are recipes that you've tried out. I know you've told me that too.
Oh, yeah.
So these are not like things that you just slapped together and said, okay, we'll see how this goes or how this tastes.
Right.
So your family must have had a blast with that. So how did that go?
Yeah, no, it was great. These are things that I made for them anyway. And so part of it was like, you're going to put this in the cookbook. Okay. Well, these are normal foods to us,
Yeah.
And so, yes, it was interesting doing the photography and getting all that set up, and that was interesting. Someone would walk through the room and be like, okay. And there were a time or two that were like, let's warm up dinner because it's cold by now. Get a picture. And so usually in the microwave quick or something,
Right.
But it was...
Right. Put the camera away. Let's eat, right?
Yeah. This is all stuff that they love.
Yeah,
so.
I love that. Yeah. And that can be the divider in a home too. And you refer to it. I know I've had conversations with not only friends with diabetes, but people I've worked with where, the husband or, the spouse is not on board or not as encouraging because they really don't understand the importance because they don't live it like we do. But I think if you can, like in your example of your cookbook, when, it's like you say, it's not diabetic friendly. I think if a spouse were to look at a recipe that said blood sugar friendly, low carb, it's going to be one of those, avoiding things like, oh, that can't be good, because I think that is the association. Even though we know low carb, it does not taste bad. That
Right.
generally is, I do tend to eat that way normally, and we don't suffer. My husband and I love food, so there's ways to do it. But I think, like you've done with this book, is that you've painted a picture, literally, because you've taken beautiful pictures of them too.
Mm-hmm.
Just to show that, hey, you can have it all. You can make that decision. Isn't that the big part too? Is being able to decide
Yes.
and what you get to eat
Yes.
without
Absolutely.
it being around some sort of food rule, right?
Yes, absolutely. There's every food group in this cookbook, and
Yeah.
we can enjoy it all,
Yeah.
and some of it in moderation,
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's painful to think like, oh, I can't eat carbs, or I can't eat
Right.
and it's not about what you can't eat. It isn't about subtraction at all. I talk about that in the front of the book. This is about addition. This is about, what do I want to eat? What's my main thing? And what do I pair with it so that I have
Make it doable.
protein? Yes.
Yeah. Make it doable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this book, Hope and Balance, is again, a lot to do with just your mission, even spiritually grounded. We know that is a big part of it. And you feature so many episodes here on the show where we've talked into God, and we've heard him through us talking, because we've had some really touching episodes, you and I here together, talking about devotions on diabetes. So is there a verse or biblical principle that guided your approach to food and health while writing Diabetic Meals Made Easy?
Yeah. So, the idea, the overarching concept is God gave us these bodies, and we are good stewards of our bodies when we eat healthy and we move our bodies and take care of ourselves. And, there's a verse in 1 Corinthians that says, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, like anything we're putting in our bodies, it needs to nourish us, right?
Yeah.
And we can get joy out of food that we enjoy eating, and we can eat a variety of foods and things that help keep our body healthy, and then we're stewarding our body well for him.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, that's so true. And I think that's where it gets a little, where people are confused as to how much time and attention to put on our health in general. It can seem too self-absorbing, too self-centered, like we're tilting the other way. And I guess that is a line that many of us can cross any day of the week, no matter who we are or what our faith is. But I think that's what holds us steady, is not only our faith, and our knowing that Christ is really who we're following, and and then we're not going to get succumbed into the world's pressures. But food is a big part of that too. You're talking about socially, and to focus on it to serve us rather than obsessing over it to where it doesn't serve us, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes. One of the first few pages, I talk about sort of my guiding principles that are a part of my approach to nutrition, and I talk about whole healthy ingredients, and I talk about moderation, and I talk about moving our bodies. If we're doing what we should be doing and being intentional and eating healthy foods and doing the best we can, not that we're perfect, doing the best we can, and moving and whatnot, that's taking care of ourselves. And I think that helps us steward well what God has given us in our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that. Absolutely. So what's the feedback that you've received, that you've been getting from the book, and for those that have already tried some of the recipes? Can't wait to.
Yes, I had a really great and encouraging advanced reader team who got the book early and got to try some recipes early, and it's been wonderful. Amazon reviews are already popping up. And they're so good. I've got some of the reviews from the advanced reader team on the website on devotionsondiabetes.com.
Okay.
Just on the book that talks about, or on the page that talks about the book. But it's been overwhelmingly positive. People seem to like that it's real and simple foods, right? This is stuff you'll feed your family. Somebody said, I love that these dishes are ones we'll actually make again, not just try once. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful.
Exactly. Yes.
It's accessible ingredients. I think I mentioned that before.
Yeah, that's
It's
huge.
easy to find stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to make the chili in the book, you probably have half the ingredients.
Right.
So
Right.
it's regular things, right? You've already got a can of beans or tomato sauce or what have you.
Yeah.
And so it's stuff that's super easy to find. And somebody also said in their review, this book has made mealtime less stressful and more enjoyable. And I thought, oh my gosh, it just made my heart happy.
Yeah.
Mealtime shouldn't be stressful, right? Mealtime is a social thing for the family.
Yeah.
And so it's where we connect with people and we share a meal with people and
Yeah.
we talk and we share the day and whatever your mealtime routine is.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that because it made something easy for someone. And I thought, oh,
Yeah.
there are things within this disease that can make it easier on us, right? My CGM makes it easier for me to know my blood sugars, right? And so anything that can just make this a little bit easier, I think, is just a home run.
Yeah, yeah. And we've heard of the statistics of how many decisions we make every day, right? I think I read one the other day, it's 180. I'm not quite sure where they're getting the number,
That's
but
what I've heard too.
it sounds about right.
Probably.
Thinking about that. So if this could be one thing, again, I know of people that, again, living with diabetes that have to put a lot of thought and attention and just struggle about what to buy, what to eat, what's working, what's not, and then the ultimate good or bad, which really messes up the whole equation of really enjoying food that your body needs to nourish and to function. Yeah. So I like that you can really take that thinking out of it when, again, if you buy a book like this, like Kaycee's book, you can get a jump start on some examples, following these recipes. It's giving you the guidance, it's giving you the tips, and you can keep that going based on what you're learning and cooking. Yeah, right. I love it because, it's just like, you can feed a man or you can teach him how to fish, right? Am I saying that right? I know that's in the Bible too somewhere.
Yes. That's absolutely the approach to this book. Could I have written a cookbook full of recipes that were diabetic friendly on their own? Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. But that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah. I wanted to help you to learn, to understand, so that when you're at Susie's house for dinner, you can figure out, I'm going to eat this and this because it balances this out, It's applicable everywhere. And that's the game changer.
Yeah. And we're living in a world right now too that there's more attention on metabolic health, blood sugar balance. I'm trying to not say the word control here on the show, even though I say it just to point it out that I don't like it, but you know what I'm saying. So, but it is something, and I think really this is a book for everyone because it really is understanding food, how it operates, how it impacts blood sugar, insulin needs. Ideally, we all want to lower our insulin needs, and it doesn't mean we're cutting our doses or anything like that, but it's recognize the impact of food on insulin and how inflammatory that is. So I love it. I love just learning and being able to apply it. And it's something that is obviously easy to read, beautiful pictures, and it's going to get somebody on their way in the kitchen. Love it, Kaycee.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I was talking with someone the other day trying to explain, it's a bunch of whole grains and lean meats and fruits and veggies. There's healthy fats. And they just kind of were like, okay, but isn't that what we all should do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's that term that we've been hearing for years, diabetic friendly. It's like, oh my gosh, I just don't like that. I don't like that term in general. But again, we need to switch it around. It's health promoting.
Right?
This is health
Yeah.
promoting for all.
Yeah. It's blood sugar friendly, right?
Yeah,
Because everybody has a little, diabetes or not, we all have a little rise after we eat because that's
absolutely.
how our body digests food. That's just how we were made, right?
That is right.
So, yeah,
That's the impact. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Let's learn them. So there's another little project that you just got done this year as well. We haven't talked about it here on the show yet. The Ultimate Blood Sugar Logbook.
Yeah.
So if you could give us a sneak on this, is also available on your website, and we will be sure to link all of these. So I can only assume that this logbook is going to kind of piggyback with a cookbook, or you're going to refer to it, or use the cookbook obviously as the driver to the decisions, which obviously is ultimately affecting what's in our logbook, right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, yeah. So this logbook is basically for a 6-week deep dive to find patterns. That's really what it was designed for, right? Because we can look at our CGM graph on our, and that will give us a lot, right?
Yeah.
But this logbook, we can track all of our calories, fat, carbs, fiber, protein. We can track our sleep. We can track our energy levels. Like there are several things outside of what we might get out of blood sugar readings that we can track. We can track exercise. And then there's a place for some daily totals. There's a place where you can figure out average for the day or average for morning or this or that or the other. And then there's an end of the week totals as well that you can dive into that page at the end of each week.
Okay.
And so it's really just it paints a broad brush over lots of things that influence blood sugar. And it isn't just what we're eating, right? It's movement, it's sleep, it's stress, it's all the main things. Although there are 100,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
a ton of things that influence blood sugar levels. But this will help you to try to find patterns. I'm going higher here, or I'm struggling to go low here, or it looks like when I don't get sleep sleep while this happens, or
Yeah.
it's those kinds of connect the dots
Yeah.
that this was designed for.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So it's just taking a step back, noting and observing.
Yes.
And I'm assuming it's going to lead to say maybe towards the end of the book, it's giving you some ways to kind of interpret what you're learning, right?
Yeah, there's room for notes and all sorts of things. And I mean, really, this would be amazing to take to your doctor. Like, look at these weekly summaries.
Yeah.
And there's notes. These are the things I learned over the last 6 weeks, things to talk to my doctor about. And then there's some extra, just blank pages at the end. But those weekly summaries can reveal a lot.
They sure
And
can.
so what do we need to talk about? Because you know this, having diabetes, a little longer than I have, we don't want to make a rash decision. Because I'm just going to change my basal rate, or I'm just going to change my insulin to carb ratio, or I'm just going to, just based on an instance, okay, that's
Right.
probably not great, because number one, that can create a domino effect of other things that change. But maybe there was something else that affected your blood sugar in that instance and you didn't know it. And so that's why it's important to look for those patterns and then have an open, honest conversation with your doctor about it.
Yeah, that's such a great idea. That is something that definitely needs to be implemented in our daily care and those doctor visits. Hopefully, maybe you're giving us the ideas to maybe push that, or to suggest it to the doctor, or just like anything, when we're advocating for what we need from that doctor visit. Open it, and it's also a good thing to talk to a health coach about, because I know this is something that you and I are doing. I tend to think it's probably something better to talk to a health coach about.
Yeah.
I don't really think the doctors unfortunately, doctors don't have the time, or really the steps and the framework around really helping us. But yeah, that's definitely a
And
good
we don't
start.
see them near enough.
No.
We don't
no,
see them
sure
near
don't.
enough, and don't have near enough time with them to
Right.
really dive. So you're exactly right. That's where a coach can just be so valuable, and can even help you look for those patterns or connect those dots, because they're used to dealing with how diabetes works.
Right, especially when we live with it as well, for sure. Yeah. So like if somebody was thinking about, because we've talked about obviously your book, your cookbook, and then the log book, the blood sugar log book, buy them together. So what would, I mean, obviously, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so, and there's no rule around maybe starting the recipes first, maybe starting the log book first. Have you thought about maybe the transition of one working together?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It may be really interesting to start the logbook and have a week before you did this and see.
That's what I was thinking too. You just read my mind. I know there's a lot of ways to interpret how to use the tools. Again, there's no right or wrong purpose. And I think it really does depend. That's kind of how, like when I work with clients, that's one of the first things that we talk about. The intake form is writing down on, I'll ask them the last, the 2 or 3 days before. I try not to pick the weekend because the weekends kind of mess us up out of our usual eating routine, but that's okay anyway. But just to get an idea of what their typical days look like, and then to go back and just kind of, to look at it closer and just to find ways that you can add in or take out, based on your logbook results. So I love it. Yeah. It's all about learning, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit of intentionality, but that can produce some pretty powerful results if you really dig in.
Yeah, that's really good. So is there anything else maybe that we missed about the book or that the readers might be curious about?
I will say this, in the back of the book, there's extra goodies.
You saved the best for last.
I know. So after all the recipes, I have lists of high fiber foods, high protein foods, no carb or low carb foods. Like, what are you looking for? And so I've got those, 2 pages of those. I've got a page of book bonuses. And so you can scan this QR code and go and download a free meal planning resource and free blood sugar tracking tools and recipe pages with nutrition calculators on them. So there's book bonuses for whoever buys the book.
I love it.
I share my favorite kitchen items if you're looking for a new gadget or whatever, or a gift.
I love it. Yeah.
So yeah, there's stuff that's in the back of the book, and you of course can see the other books that I've written in the back as well. But there's goodies in there.
Awesome. That's really good. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. This is a real important resource, and we appreciate you coming in and taking some time to share it with us and giving us a taste. Yes, I need to get my hands on the book. I have not ordered one yet.
Yes. I just need to send you one for having me on.
I wasn't fishing for a free book, but whatever.
You weren't.
But yeah. Oh my good, I love it. Yeah, it's very, very welcomed in the community. I've talked with some people online just recently. I had a man that we both follow, and I'm not going to mention names just to protect identity, but he just sent me a message the other day and he said, "Hey, have you heard about Kaycee's new cookbook?" So I guess he was one of your testers. Yeah, he was raving about it. So I'm like, well, she's coming on tomorrow and we're going to really tell everybody about this book. So I thought the timing was really, really
That's amazing.
He's a listener here on the show as well. So yeah, again, our community is like no other, right? We're definitely sharing something that's so unique and understood. So really good. I
cannot wait for your book.
Oh, thank you. Me too. Yeah. I am hard at it. I've got a lot of pieces of it, just not put together quite yet. Yeah. It should be early 2026, sometime February, March is kind of my goal. So yeah, we will pray about that. And again, God's in charge, but so far he is lining things up beautifully with everything that I need, including you, just adding your graphics and just your help. I really do appreciate it. I've never written a book before, so when in doubt, just go to somebody. Yeah. It's a lot of things to think about.
It is a lot of things. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, can't wait. We'll have to talk about that on the show.
We will for sure. Yeah, there's going to be some conversations early in the year for sure. Okay, so where can they get a copy of your book?
Yes, it is available on Amazon, paperback and hardback, whichever you prefer. Mm-hmm. And the Ultimate Blood Sugar Logbook is on there as well, and the Devotions on Diabetes is on there as well.
Yeah, we'll be sure to link all that just as we always do. So yeah, thanks again for taking time today and sharing this with us. Absolutely. You're doing some great things in our community, and we truly appreciate you, Kaycee.
Thank you. We appreciate you too.
Okay. Okay, well, everybody get out there and get the book, and be sure to look at the show notes here. You can click the link and hop over and start cooking. Okay, bye for now. We'll see you in here next time.